Tim and Beverly. It's been, oh, when did we do the first relationships?
Been a lot of years, I'm not sure.
Several.
Yeah, it's got to be like 7 years, I want to say.
Maybe more.
Maybe more than that. And there's dozens of things that I want to cover with you guys, but I really did want to come back and revisit the Relationship's signature style portraits that you were the originators. And when I was here last, it was in its infancy.
Right.
There's hardly a studio in the country that doesn't offer a version. But I wanted to come back and talk to you about it and how you kept it fresh and really the theory behind it, because I think that's been lost on a lot of people as to, you know, they look at it's dark clothing, shot in black and white, and to a degree, touchy-feely, but I don't think they really get it. So would you kind of revisit some of that?
Sure.
Well, you know, my roots are in black and white. I mean, I was raised in a dark room at 12 years old with my dad. You know, the smell of Fixer. I say if they'd make a candle that smelled like Fixer, I'd be the only guy in the world that would buy it. It takes me back to my roots, but I love black and white, and I was passionate about it. And really where it started for me is I got into photography because of the emotion behind the images. I mean, I really like to create images that have strong emotional appeal to them. And so as we were struggling for a lot of years, I kind of went back to my roots at that time. Fired up the darkroom because we weren't working at the PC then. Everything was filmed, there was no digital. So I fired the darkroom up and I said, I'm going to go back to my roots. And you know, a lot of photographers preach, Ed, that we need to educate the public. But I think in reverse, maybe the public needs to educate us. And the kind of things I was hearing at that time was, I want to see the faces. I want to just, you know, it's more about the people than all the things that we were adding as portrait photographers. And so I went back to those roots of being in the darkroom and I said, we're going to create a fine art line that has strong emotional appeal, that cuts away all of the stuff, all the props, all the things, and I'm going to get right down to the heart of the matter. And Relationships was birthed for me going back to my roots, fine art black and white. We sold it as art pieces, archivally sound, and we started taking a simple but high quality approach to image making, and we labeled it Relationships. So that the reason we did that was because anybody can create a photograph. But what we're here to do is celebrate relationships, and photography just happens to be the way we do that. Some people do it with pens, some do it with other methods, but we celebrate relationships with a camera. And so that's really where it started, was me taking that turn back to my roots, and it proved to be a wise choice for us.